Hey y'all, this is Jamie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Mickey and Makeup Monday. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing the retheming of Splash Mountain into a Princess and the Frog ride. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Also be sure to give this a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I forgot to actually record this part, so let's go with our shirt of the week. This is a Tiana's Place shirt. On the front is just TP with New Orleans on the pocket. On the back we have Miss Beautiful Tiana. Tiana's Place New Orleans with good food brings folks together. This is available on shopdisney.com. I will leave the link down below. Alright, so first of all, I apologize. We did not have a Mickey and Makeup Monday or any videos for that matter last week. My sister had her second baby last week. Honestly, starting this week, I am going to put more of an effort into my channel. I feel like, and my sister and I kind of talked about this, I've been kind of like half in with this channel. Oh my gosh, I forgot my rings. Let me go get my rings. And I feel so naked without them. I am back. So anyways, I've been kind of half in with my channel and complaining that I haven't had, quick enough growth. I've had my channel since January of 2018, so it's been about 2.5 years now that I've had my channel, and I still don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, and so things are kind of slow going. But I think one of the reasons is because I am kind of half in to this channel, but this is something that I really want to do and something that I really want to grow, and I would like to eventually be able to do this full time. I'm going full in. My sister is going to help me out a bit. Hopefully not hopefully, I will have more regular uploads, more regular Instagram uploads? No, posts. That's what it's called. Because I'm very inconsistent with Instagram as well, because I haven't quite gotten the hang of Instagram. Just philosophically. I don't know if that's the word I should use. Just as an idea, yes. New things are coming, better things are coming. So anyways, that's why, that was a long explanation for why I didn't have a video last week. This week, we are doing, which I probably should have done this topic a couple weeks ago because now it's kind of died down a little bit as far as what's in the news. And that is the retheming of Splash Mountain to a Princess and the Frog ride. We're going to talk about Splash Mountain as a ride, just in general. We're going to talk about A Song of the South, and then we're going to talk about the retheming and my thoughts, my opinions on it, if I'm for it or against it, and what have you. So let's get started. As far as what I'm going to be doing with my makeup, as you guys can probably see, I do already have the base on. I do already have bronzer and blush on. I already did my brows. So today this makeup is pretty much just going to focus on the eyes. I am wanting, because this is Princess and the Frog, I'm wanting to create kind of a green look on the eyes. So what I'm thinking, I have not worked on this. I haven't practiced anything, and a lot of times when I'm doing something that's not like a first impressions, I will have practiced the look beforehand. We're kind of just winging this. So I picked out a couple of palettes. They're actually both from ColourPop. That wasn't intentional, but they are both from ColourPop. These are the ones that I liked the green shades the most. So this one, we have the shade Emerald Dream I really like, and then this is kind of a matte green shade. That might be too green, too emerald, I don't know. And then this palette, the Misunderstood, the Villains palette, I have this green down here and then this one up here. So I might actually use both of those. So Splash Mountain. So if you did not know, or if you just wanted a bit of a refresher, Splash Mountain is a log flume ride. It is at Disneyland. It is at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, and then they also have a version of it at Tokyo Disneyland. It is I think it's a relatively new ride as far as based on the age of a lot of other really popular Disney rides that some people see as classics, which I think a lot of people do see Splash Mountain as kind of a classic ride. I think it came to be in the 80s, I want to say late 80s, maybe 1989. First of all, I'm going to go into the Misunderstood palette with this shade right here called Devious. It was pretty much created and thought up by Tony Baxter. He is a pretty popular Imagineer. if anybody is into Imagineering. Initially, when they wanted to do a log flume ride, A lot of the Imagineers weren't quite excited about it because they thought that it wasn't special enough, because, you know, a lot of places have log flume rides. Six Flags has log flume rides. They didn't think it was special enough for a Disney park, but they decided to go ahead with it, and they wanted something that they could put along with Country Bear Jamboree in the Bear Country at Disneyland, because Country Bear Jamboree was pretty much the only attraction that was there. And then America Sings, another ride at Disneyland, it was getting kind of outdated, it wasn't frequented, so they wanted something that could reuse a lot of those audio animatronics that were in America Sings. Tony Baxter thought of using Song of the South and using the characters from the animated portions of Song of the South. For those of you who have not seen Song of the South or don't know what it is, Song of the South was a movie that was released in 1946, long time ago, and that was like segregation was still a thing. In fact, none of the black people that were in the movies could, or they chose not to because they would have been relegated to the balconies and they wouldn't have been able to participate in any of the like premiere festivities either. It was held in Atlanta. I do this because I live in Georgia, near Atlanta, and the movie is actually set in Georgia. It's supposed to be post-Civil War, but like very soon after the Civil War. It basically tells the story of Uncle Remus, who is a black man. Some would say has kind of the stereotype of the wise older black man who tells stories to a little white kid. And so he lives like on a plantation, like in a cabin on the plantation. I think he works for the owner of the plantation. At this point, slavery has been abolished, but in real life, things were not that much better for black people at that time. They still didn't have like any rights. White people didn't want to hire them for pay. So basically, going back to the actual movie, the little boy likes to come see Uncle Remus, and Uncle Remus tells him stories. That is the stories of Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, Brer Fox. That is the animated portion of the movie. It's kind of an animated live action hybrid. I'm not going to talk too much about, you know, the controversies that surround it. I will put a couple of like articles if you want to read a little bit more into it, or you can just, you know, Google it. One thing that I will say, and is one of the biggest gripes about that movie, is that it seems to romanticize how living on a plantation was at that time. Basically, in the movie, Uncle Remus is this like happy-go-lucky guy. He's the one who sings zippity-doo-dah. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. A lot of people were upset at the fact that it made it seem like things were great for black people back then. That they were happy, that they were satisfied, that they had a good attitude about everything. And a lot of people are saying that that was what was represented with that movie. James Baskett, it's either Baskett or Basket, he's the one who played Uncle Remus, saying that he was kind of playing to that stereotype of the older, wise black man. It got a lot of flack even back then in 1946. And like I said, for more, there are other things as well, the Tar Baby, things like that, and I will definitely link a couple of articles that I've read about that down in the description box if you'd like to read more about it. Let's get into my thoughts on the ride. So I think I am pretty much just going to use the Misunderstood palette. So I think I'm going to go a little bit into the shade of 101, as in Dalmatians. Growing up, I have been on Splash Mountain quite a few times. I would say it's been like less than 10 times, but like more than 5, I would say. As a kid, we went to Disney World a few times. I never had a problem with Splash Mountain, the ride, growing up. And neither did my dad, my black dad. But I will say after our trip, our last trip, as I have said in a past Mickey and Makeup video, our last trip to Walt Disney World was back in 2013. I was 23 at the time, and I think that it was brought up, something was brought up about what Song of the South, or what Song of the South was, you know, that it was what the ride was based on. And I had heard of Song of the South, you know, as a title of one of Disney's movies, but I'd never seen it, I'd never looked into it. I'd heard of Uncle Remus before, I'd heard that name. But after we got back from our trip, I decided to look up some stuff. I actually watched Song of the South, which, by the way, Song of the South has not been released since like the 80s. Usually Disney releases their movies, like everything was released on VHS, and then when DVD came out, everything was released on a DVD. Then when Blu-ray came out, everything was released on that. Then when digital download became a thing, everything was released on that. So they haven't released Song of the South on anything since the 80s. I watched Song of the South. I read a little bit into, you know, what went into making the movie, what it was based on. You know, it's based on a book that was written in the 1800s, basically a book of stories. I still, when I first watched Song of the South, I still wasn't offended by it, and I still couldn't quite understand why people were. To me, I was like, oh, well, this black man is like the hero of the story. He's the star, he's the good guy. He's, you know, they're not painting him in a negative light. As like he's this intelligent, wise guy. Everybody loves him. He's not treated poorly, and that's how I saw it. And you know, I didn't initially understand that. I was like, what's the problem here? Like, what's this issue? And it wasn't honestly until just recently that I started fully understanding why people were upset about it, for the reason that I said before. And I get that now. I understand it. I am not necessarily offended by it. I still am not necessarily offended by it personally, but I understand why someone might be offended by it. I see it now. I never felt that way riding the ride. I just saw it as like a fun ride, a fun log flume ride. That's how I saw it, and that's how I always thought of it when I went and when I rode it. It was always like a must-ride ride whenever we went to Disney World. It was a family favorite. Now moving into June 2020, when Disney released a statement saying that they were retheming, or that they had plans to retheme Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog. So cue insanity. I went on, and every place that had posted it, I would like look at the comments to see what people mainly thought. I would say overall, people were either fully in favor of it or kind of indifferent to it. But there were quite a few people who were really upset about it. Now, some people are really upset just over the fact that a beloved Disney attraction is being changed. You have Disney fans, Disney purist fans who are like, no, you can't change that. That's not, no. There's always a group of people who come out whenever it's announced that a ride is being rethemed or being replaced altogether. Or even sometimes just when it's like little changes are being made, sometimes people get mad and upset about that. I'm gonna go into Facile, the shade right here, put that all over the lid. There was one person who actually wrote that it was disgusting that Disney had decided to do this. I'm like, okay, that's being a bit ridiculous. Like, I can understand maybe you being like personally like, oh, I really liked that ride, and you know, it's not gonna be there anymore. But to call it disgusting is just ridiculous in my opinion. And then there are several people who were like, okay, cool, look forward to riding it. And then there are other people who were like really pumped about it. I, for one, am really pumped about it. I am a big fan of Princess and the Frog. I think I've said that before. A huge fan of their music. I love the characters. I think it goes well, especially since in Disneyland, Critter Country is where Splash Mountain is located, but it's right next to New Orleans Square. So you can easily just have New Orleans Square kind of extended a little bit. Frontierland, as far as Magic Kingdom, I don't know how much it's gonna fit into that, but who cares? I'm really excited about it, and the way I see it, even if you're one of those people, you were never offended by it, you love the music, you love the characters. For me, Walt Disney World should be an escape, a place where everyone is happy. It should be a place where everybody can feel like they belong, everyone can feel truly embraced by Disney. And so just the idea that there are people who don't feel that way when they walk into Disney and they look at Splash Mountain, or if they ride Splash Mountain, if it makes them think of certain things or feel certain negative thoughts or negative ways. I don't want that for anybody. And so if somebody feels that way, I want that to change. I want everybody to feel as wonderful, and as I want people to feel the magic of this world just like I do. You know, I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out, or like they're being targeted, or they're being oppressed, or they're, you know, or even just something is like making them think bad thoughts or bad memories. Try to see it that way if you're one of the people who thought that, you know, who's upset, who's mad that they're changing Splash Mountain. Like I said, growing up, I wasn't offended by it, so I don't have bad memories going to Splash Mountain. But I can understand why people would, and I don't want them to feel that way anymore. I think that even if Splash Mountain wasn't based on, even if they were just those like random rare characters, you know, that wasn't based on Song of the South and wasn't so racially charged, I think it would still be fun to have a retheming, you know, of that ride. Walt Disney always said that Disneyland would never be finished, and Walt Disney was always in favor of change. So I think it's good to be in favor of it as well. I think we have to look towards the future and look towards progress. This is the shade Diablo. I think it's important that we see everybody's point of view and that we work hard to try to have harmony. I know that they have said that the ride will take place, the new Princess and the Frog ride will take place after the movie, and that it's Louis and Tiana kind of going along the bayou on the way to New Orleans, I believe. So I'm really excited about it, but I'm hoping that they somehow find a way to put Friends on the Other Side in there. I could see that as you're going down that big drop, because they're not changing, as far as I know, they're not actually changing the bones of the ride. They're not changing the actual ride, they're just changing the theming of it. So I think it's still gonna have those same tracks, that same path, just different characters, different music, different backdrop. So yeah, I could see that being Friends on the Other Side being the "Are you ready?" as they're like going up the hill and then going down, and it having Dig a Little Deeper, where Zippity Doodah is right now. I also forgot to mention, and I can't believe I forgot, but Tony Baxter, in addition to coming up with the original Splash Mountain, he is also on the team. He came out of retirement to do the Splash Mountain redesign. So he is former Imagineer and Disney legend Tony Baxter. He will serve as creative advisor to Imagineers, but this project is actually being led by senior creative producer Sharita Carter. And she said, "Like Princess Tiana, I believe that courage and love are the key ingredients for wonderful adventures. I am delighted to be a part of bringing this fun-filled experience to our guests." So I would love to know what you guys think. Are you excited about it? Are you one of those that was really upset about it? Are you one that has, you know, always been really offended by that ride? I would love to know. I realized that I did my whole outro without any mascara on. I didn't put on any mascara. So I had started taking off this eye right here. I had started taking it off when I realized. So if it looks different or if it looks weird, that is why. So on my lips, I have the NYX Lingerie. This is in the shade Ruffle Trim. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the retheming of Splash Mountain. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I hope I can encourage people to just listen and be open-minded. I think that's kind of what our world needs right now. So that is it for today's video. That is it for episode 3 of Nikki and Makeup Monday. If you have any ideas or anything that you would like for me to talk about having to do with Disney, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the parks. It could be anything Disney related, movies, TV shows, music, Walt Disney himself, Imagineering, or the Disney parks. Let me know what your thoughts are and what you would like to see in future Mickey and Makeup Mondays. Leave those in the comments down below. That is it for today's video. Remember to like, subscribe, share the video if you would like, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye y'all.